We lost a teacher today to a job in a correctional facility. Let that sink in. Hashtag do something okay. Dr. Rick Cobb, the superintendent of Mid-Del Public Schools, tweeted this out on January 3rd and used the hashtag do something okay to talk about the current state, really, of our education system, honestly. And we're going to continue this conversation. We are joined now by Dr. Rick Cobb. Thank you so much for being along with us.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start with that tweet that you sent out just a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure there was some thought behind it, whether or not to send it out. Why did you decide you wanted to tweet that?
Well, the impact it had on me, I was driving home from work, and our HR director sent me a text message, and it basically said that we just lost a teacher to a job in a correctional facility. And I get home and I read the text, and I'm just sitting in my garage and really letting it sink in. And I just decided, I'm always trying to come up with good examples of what we're dealing with in Oklahoma schools, just to illustrate the problems of the teacher shortage. And I don't think I've ever tweeted anything else out that had that kind of impact in terms of people responding to it. And it's a big loss. It's an English teacher. It's a high school English teacher leaving in the middle of the year. And regardless of the situation, that's a big loss. And corrections is another thing in Oklahoma that's severely underfunded. And so, we're competing with other agencies and other state functions for our teachers right now. And in every way you conceptualize it, it's just a hard loss for us. And
you've been very outspoken about the situation going on. You have a blog that you run. You're very active on Twitter, and this really was illustrating the state of Oklahoma education. Like you said, you got a lot of engagements on that. You got a lot of retweets. A lot of people were responsive to this tweet. Can you tell us why the teacher left? Was it more money? What was the situation?
I didn't talk to the teacher personally, so I can't answer that. But it's not the only loss that we've had mid-year. We've had several. We had one position that we thought was filled with a student teacher who graduated in December and was going to start work for us at one of our middle schools in January, but she ended up getting a job in another district after we had offered her a job. And so another thing that's changed there is that I think back to when I started my career, and I applied to every school district that I could think of, and eventually started out in Muskogee. And now teachers are basically, we're the ones competing for the teachers instead of the teachers competing for us. And I guess it's broader than that.
I look through the conversations that you have had on social media, because you guys do the hashtag OklaEd for Oklahoma Education, and you use that really just as a great outreach to talk to the community about the situation that's going on, the huge budget crisis, the teacher shortfall, the emergency certifications. And I thought this tweet, you sent this on January 8th, was really interesting. We're spread too thin, too many initiatives, too little funding, too much turnover, churn, churn, churn. What did you mean, first of all, by you're spread too thin, too many initiatives?
Well, if you think back over the last 6 years, there's been a lot of reform pushed into Oklahoma schools at the same time that funding was shrinking. Teacher evaluation, new standards again.
The testing?
All the testing, and then taking the testing away, but we have this interim testing before some of the testing goes away. The third grade retention law, which is a huge issue that the legislature still needs to address. All of these things add to the fact that teachers are underpaid, stressed out, and now with all of the budget cuts stretched too thin. I just had an email this week from a principal about 27 kids in a kindergarten classroom, and we have another school where we have 31 in a kindergarten classroom, and looking for teacher assistants for that, because the kids are still coming to us, and it's hard to find qualified teachers, and it's hard to find teachers who want to stay under those circumstances.
Well, sure, and then they can go to Texas and get paid a whole lot more money, and they have the proper funds to support them. As someone who does have their PhD in education administration, I mean, you're the expert here. What do you think needs to be done? Do we need to trim a little bit? Do we need to consolidate districts to save money and put it back towards the teachers and give them a raise? What would, if you were running things here, what can be done? It's quite a dire situation.
I think consolidation is a false solution that some legislators put out there sometimes, because if you look at it, we would have the same number of kids, we'd be spending the same number of dollars, so as a state our per pupil expenditures would be exactly the same if we had 500 districts or 100 school districts. So it doesn't change per pupil expenditures, and I've been a rural superintendent in a district that had 300 students, so I know that you're talking about people who don't get paid a lot and they're wearing multiple hats and doing multiple jobs. I don't think that really solves the problem. There are probably some districts that are hurting for money and will have to annex somewhere else over the next few years, but I don't think that a large-scale consolidation solves the problem. And then plus politically, I think it's hard to get that through the legislature, because even if it was the best idea out there, you have a lot of people who have to protect their home front, the communities they represent, and you just have a lot of legislators that are in small rural communities.
Sure, no one wants to see their district go away. No one wants to see their administrator, their superintendent lose their job. But education is getting a lot of money right now. They get half of all of our taxpayer dollars. So it's not like a shortage of money necessarily. It's just maybe the spending is off, and the second most expensive thing right now for schools is transportation, and so consolidation could take care of transportation costs as well.
Actually, I think it would increase transportation.
Or yeah, that's true.
Cost.
Otherwise, because they'd be driving.
When I was in Medford, we had bus routes that would, that were an hour long, that would pick up maybe 30 kids, because you have to go a mile down this dirt road and do a 3-point turn and come back around and go to the next one. So I think transportation becomes even a bigger issue in consolidation, and I know that there are areas where where it would work. I just don't know that it changes the overall funding picture. State revenue has decreased, the education share has decreased, and 50 is total education. 30 Common Ed K to 12 is about 34% of the state budget. So I think that with the state budget shrinking and our share of the state budget shrinking, it's still a loss. We receive less money than we did last year, and we cut $5 million from our budget in Mid-Del, and we're still hurting for money and looking at the next round of cuts.
We are running out of time here, but if you could tell me in just one sentence what you think the solution would be to all of this, would it be more money? What would the answer be?
Yeah, I think the state needs to look at ways to generate more revenue and dedicated revenue.
All right, Dr. Rick Cobb, thank you. I do want to leave on this, because this was a positive note. You said anyone who thinks Oklahoma Ed or Oklahoma education hasn't seen innovation in 150 years isn't paying attention. We're more innovative and student-centered than ever. You sent that out on December 11th, and I liked that, because we do need some positivity when it comes to education, because it is a little bit of a crisis, an education crisis, but I like the positivity that I saw on that Twitter account. Certainly appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We wish you the best and love how active and vocal you are with the community.